Hey, I didn't see you there. Just kidding. I saw you because there's a camera in my face, people. Hello, I'm Jenica Hill, and you've landed on my channel, which is all about embracing and celebrating your full magical self. Because you, my friend, are magical. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. I love you. So, in case you didn't notice, today's video is brought to you by armpit hair. Also, my red chair and my Idaho potato. Idaho girl. You can take the girl out of Idaho, but you can't take the Idaho out of the girl. So today I want to talk about body hair, and the question I have for all of you is, what does body hair have to do with bisexuality? And you might be thinking, absolutely nothing, Jenica. And I'd be like, you are right if that's true for you, but for me, it has a lot to do with bisexuality, so hang on to your hats and your chairs and stay tuned. Basically, I want to talk about my journey towards accepting my own body hair, specifically my armpit hair, because I actually grow out my armpit hair. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I used to hate razor bumps on my armpits, and now I don't have to deal with them. However, I shave my legs. In fact, I just took a shower and I shaved my legs, and I love the feeling of smooth legs. So I kind of just want to talk about how I got to that point of accepting my body hair, choosing to shave my legs but not my armpit hair, and why that is absolutely A-okay. I want you to know before we get started with my story, I am not advocating for everyone to grow out their body hair, because guess what? Man, woman, anything in between, all genders, all identities, should not have to either shave or grow out their body hair to fit in with society, or facial hair, or whatever. You should be able to have whatever amount of body hair you want. And in today's world, we can get rid of it or we can keep it, and that is our choice. It's our choice, and you shouldn't be judged for one way or the other. I did grow out my armpit hair probably 2 or 3 years ago in the winter. I was dabbling in the armpit hair world. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grow out my armpit hair. And lo and behold, this was the first time I started thinking about maybe I'm bisexual. Interesting timing. So I grew out my armpit hair over the winter. Actually, my partner really loved it. He was like, you look so cool. I would, have it all hanging out, but nobody knew because I was wearing sweaters and all that. And when the spring came along and I started, this was before COVID, so I could go to the gym, and I would go to the gym and I'd be wearing a tank top, and I would get really embarrassed about doing, arm lifts and things because I didn't want anyone to see my armpit hair. And I realized,
wow, the societal expectation of women having clean armpits is really getting to me.
I succumbed to it and I shaved my armpits for the spring and summer so that I could wear tank tops without anybody looking at me weird. And I didn't really want anybody to look at me. I was sort of like,
don't look at me. I just want to be alone in my little corner of the gym, and I don't want anybody looking at my armpits.
Understandably, right? But fast forward to when we all found out in 2020, March 2020, at least in the United States, that COVID was here. And we were going to have to quarantine in our homes for 2 weeks. Ha ha ha. Hilarious. When I realized we were quarantining, I told my partner, you know what? I think I'm gonna grow out all my body hair. And I think a lot of people had a similar thought. But I realized that I had such a journey with shaving. I mean, okay, let's go back for a second. I'll tell you about body hair and my image as a kid before I get into the COVID times. When I was, okay, so I'm Italian. like an eighth, okay, but I own it. I love that part of me. I'm also very pale, as you can see. So I have a lot of hair, but I don't have a lot of pigment or melanin. So you can see my hair pretty easily. And I was embarrassed by this because I remember as a kid seeing all those like Nair commercials and, Venus razor commercials like, I'm your Venus. I don't know if I can sing that for copyright. I don't understand the copyright stuff that well. But I remember seeing, those smooth legs they would show on the screen, and it was like,
Oh, your soft, silky legs.
and I just remember thinking,
I want soft, silky legs.
so I begged my mother to let me shave my legs, and she allowed me to do that the last day of fifth grade. So it was like my final day of fifth grade, and I shaved my legs. A lot of hair came off those legs, let me tell you. And I felt so great about it. I don't remember when I started shaving my armpits, but I remember it created a lot of skin tags. Sorry if that's gross. And just razor bumps and all that. And then in seventh grade, I immediately shaved my lady bits because I hated the feeling of hair. My mom was like,
Why are you shaving that?
because she thought I was, I guess, well, she worried probably that I was like getting into some sexual activity. I was not. I was not at all. I just really wanted to wear a thong because back then, wearing thongs, like the string out of your pants, was really cool. Oh, ew. Why did we do that? I don't know, but we did. And I really wanted a thong, and I didn't want my hair to be all sticking out. I remember as a kid seeing this girl at the water park once who had, pubic hair sticking out of her bathing suit, and I was disgusted, which that was society telling me to be disgusted. We know this. But I was. So I tried to get rid of my hair in every way possible. I bleached my lip hair for a long time before my mom let me wax it. I think my cousin pinned me down and plucked my eyebrows for me at one point because she was like, I feel bad for you. Shout out to you, cuz. Anyway, I was one of those people who wanted to have as little hair as possible. I did shave my arms once, but then I heard it grows back thicker, and I was terrified of that, so I stopped shaving my arms. But I started shaving my belly, my toes, everything. I wanted to get rid of everything. Eventually, I started waxing my lady bits, getting rid of all of that hair. It's a lot of work and a lot of maintenance. And if you identify as female or identify as anything else and you are someone who hates body hair or hates having it, then it's a lot of work. And now there's laser hair removal. I've never done that, things like that. But my friend and I were talking, actually two of my friends and I were talking the other day about how when you shave your legs or arms or whatever and you have missing patches of hair, it can just completely distract you like all day, and you can't think about anything else until you go shave it. So, okay, that's my past with hair removal. Fast forward again to the beginning of quarantine, and I thought,
I am going to try to retrain my brain to love my body hair because my body hair is part of who I am. It's how I was made. It's how it came out, it's just my natural state. So why should I be trying to fix it or change it all the time?
leg hair especially, I've never liked the way leg hair looks on female identifying people. Why? Because society showed me all those beautiful silky legs and I thought that's a beautiful woman, So I was on a mission to accept myself. And I grew out my hair. I grew out my armpit hair again, I grew out my leg hair, and I have a picture, I'll show you, of the height of my hair growth. And I was pretty proud of myself because my partner and I went on a road trip to visit family, and we went to a winery with my sister and brother-in-law, and I had shorts on, and you could see my armpit hair through my shirt. And so I was just a hairy human, just out and about, no shame. And I really didn't have a lot of shame. I think at first I was worried about people looking and stuff, and then I was like,
You know what? I am that badass gal who's out here not giving up about having body hair, and you can look or not, and you can just deal with your feelings about it on your own.
and you know, even some of my family members, we stayed with my parents for over a month, and my mom was like,
What are you doing?
my sister was like,
Ew, that's disgusting. Shave it.
I understand. No fault to them, it's their preference, but I really enjoyed this feeling of empowerment that I had. Like, I am choosing to have this hair, and I don't care what you think. And it felt really good. So that brings me back to the question, what does body hair have to do with bisexuality? Well, my friends, for me, it had to do with exactly what I said, empowerment. I think as a female presenting person in the world, in society, Western society, our society that I live in right now, having body hair is different. It's out of the norm. It's not the mainstream. And so I was dallying with this feeling of being different. I hadn't come out as bisexual to anybody but close friends and my partner and myself. And I remember June of 2020, I really wanted to come out for Pride Month. But I was staying with my in-laws, and I was terrified to do that because I didn't want to have awkward conversations. Do you blame me? So I decided, okay, maybe now is not the right time to come out publicly as bisexual. However, I can have armpit hair and wear it proudly. And that was my little pièce de résistance. Is that the right use of that term? Help me out. I posted a photo on Instagram. I'll share that here. And that was sort of my, instead of coming out, kind of flag of,
I'm different. I'm different than you think.
and you know, I got some good responses from that photo, but it was this, I have a friend that calls it a vulnerability hangover, when you post something and you know it might shake things up a bit. And that's what I felt, a vulnerability hangover. I was really nervous about what people were going to say, if they were going to make fun of me, if they were going to say, ew, gross, you know. But most people were pretty, like, cool about it or just didn't care. I did have a friend make me different colorful versions of the photo because she thought it was badass. I really appreciate that. You know who you are. I think that was like my pre-coming out, sort of. When I think about it, I was like,
Oh, this is me saying, hey everybody, I'm not your like cookie cutter what you think of as a heterosexual female identifying person. I am someone who might have a little surprise under the sleeve, if you know what I'm saying.
so that's what body hair has to do with bisexuality. For me. It might not have anything to do with your sexuality. I'm not saying it has to. This is just, you know, a little story for you. And, you know, an encouragement to, if you want to grow out your body hair, go for it. And if you don't, go for that too. I do want to address the fact that I now shave my legs because I don't know why some people get very worked up about these things, but they do. They might be thinking,
Why would you shave your legs and not your armpits? That's so strange.
well, I came back from these long trips across the country, road trips to be safe, and thought,
You know what? I'm gonna shave because I can, because that's my choice as well. It's my prerogative.
so I shaved my legs and my armpits. It took a long time and it clogged up my razor intensely. But I did it, and shaving my legs felt really nice. I really liked having smooth legs. Since I was, you know, in 5th grade, that feeling of like freshly shaved legs and you put lotion on them, it's just like a lovely, it's like silky, it's just nice. I like it. Also, having hairy legs can get itchy, and it caused a lot of like ingrown hairs. Anyway, just for me, again, Italian, shaving my armpits actually made me feel very emotional. I almost cried when I got rid of that hair. And I was like,
Okay,
I listened to my body and I was like,
I think my armpit hair is my form of empowerment.
so I grew it out again. And here I am, growing out armpit hair. If you think it's gross, that's your opinion. I don't care that you do. Don't look at it if you don't like it. That's it for this week, folks. A little glimpse into my body hair choices. If you were like,
I didn't ask for that today.
I'd be like,
Sorry.
and also, you don't have to watch it if you didn't ask for that today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, comment, because the algorithm loves all that. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I want to thank you if you have subscribed. I am loving the comments that everybody's sending. I hope I can continue to reply to all of them because I just feel like we're this community and I love it so much and I just feel so grateful. So thank you very much. Please let me know in the comments what your experience has been with body hair, whether you like to shave it all, you've done laser hair removal, you like to keep all your body hair, if it's like a shame thing for you. I know body hair has so much shame around it for people, and especially for like people from different cultures, or if you tend to have a lot of hair, maybe you don't have the hair you want. I know for some male identifying folks, like not being able to grow facial hair can be tough. So if you have a story that you'd like to share with everybody about body hair, I think we can all learn from each other and also support each other. I know it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but sometimes it can be. There's, like I said, a lot of shame, and shame is a very, if you listen to Brene Brown, a very intense emotion and can affect our behavior and our ideas of ourselves. So don't take it lightly, that shame, you know? Let's reverse that shame and just like let our freak flags fly. And of course, please go out and be your full magical self today, because the world needs you just as you are.